every chef in New Orleans is inviting him to the restaurant. That's not a good look, bro. I mean, come on. That's not a good look. But hey, we love some Zion, bro.
It's the fat shaming, man. I'm jealous of Zion. I wish every chef in New Orleans
Me too.
was inviting me. I wish I had that type of love.
We'll take those calories for you, bro. Welcome to the second episode of 3 in the Paint podcast. I'm your host, Leo Beas, and today we're joined by our co-host, Mark Haynes. And unfortunately, the third member of the band could not make it in Jeremiah. He is sick, got the fever, got the whole thing. I'm trying to go through it too, man, but hopefully I don't get to that extent. Mark, how are you feeling most importantly?
Hey, fortunately for myself, well, hold on. Before I say fortunately for myself, Jeremiah, I hope you get well soon,
Facts.
man. We miss you. Leo, you continue to fight the good fight and staying healthy. But I actually feel great. You know, I just had a birthday yesterday, so I'm feeling amazing. I wish you guys were feeling the same so we could be together in studio and doing what we do.
So that is why we are not in studio. Yesterday, we're supposed to film. It was Mark's birthday. Would have been a nice, birthday gathering, but it didn't happen. And things happen for a reason. We just got to get healthy, but we got an action-packed show. Won't be very long, but we got a lot of good topics. All-Star Weekend passed. Deadline passed. There's a lot to talk about. We saw the Kings, I believe, twice in person, right? We had some good opposing teams come through as well. Tonight, they got destroyed by both Mark and I believe the best team in the West, which is still the Denver Nuggets. They showed why, even though there was no De'Aaron Fox, but still it's how they played, not really the result. And we'll go over all that, man. But the first topic is, and the reason why we're talking about Jaime Jaquez Jr. is because we just saw him in person. He's had a very good rookie season. And in my opinion, the third best overall rookie behind Wemby and Chet. Tell me what you like about Jaime.
Dude, I like it's gonna sound like a generic answer, but I just like his game. Like the way he was scoring the basket against the Kings, it was not like just I'm getting open shots and he could shoot. He was going and getting a bucket. Like
Right.
he has a post game. He has really, really, really good footwork for somebody that's a rookie. And that was the one thing that stood out to me on was that Monday or whatever when he was here in Sacramento. And after the game, I got to ask him a question in the locker room, and I asked him like, do he feel like a rookie? Right. And he especially in that was a tight game. It got close at the end, and he was like, after the first few games or whatever, it kind of he knows he's a rookie, he understands he's a rookie. But once the game gets going, he's a basketball player. And that's exactly what he looks like. Just a straight hooper.
And everybody on his team, they always say he plays like a vet. He plays like a vet. Jimmy Butler, who always has high praise for him, he plays like a vet. That has been his MO since he got into the league. He's an older college player. I'm actually doing a video right now for my YouTube channel, Basketball Zone, about how some teams just sleep on these older players, and both you and I and Jeremiah have talked about this in the past, and for future shows I'm sure we'll touch on it as well. What do other teams have to do to stop sleeping on these older players, like a Keegan Murray, like a Jalen Williams from Oklahoma, like a Jaime Jaquez Jr. who went number 18, right? Utah had 16, the Lakers had 17. That could have been a good spot for them. They need the scoring off the bench. They need the versatility that Hyman provides. They didn't do it. They went with the young cat and what is his name?
Some Hood.
Yeah. He's super young.
Yeah.
And they know they messed up, right? But Jaime and his team, his father, they worked out very well for the Heat. They scouted him very well. They were very excited that he slipped to number 18, and they got themselves a role ball player. So going back to that question, what do teams got to do to start or to stop sleeping on these older cats?
One, like we calling these dudes older cats. You
Right.
know, they're 21,
Right.
22 years
22.
old.
Yeah.
You know, the difference between an 18-year-old kid or nine, eight, listen, 18-year-old kid to 22 is not that big of a difference. But we make it like it's like, oh, this guy is seasoned. He's a veteran young guy. There's no such thing. A lot of guys, don't make it to play 10 years in the league.
Mm,
So if you're 22 years old, you pay, 10 years. If you make it
32.
10 years, you're 32. There's not a difference between somebody 32 and 28, really. You're still, if you're really good, you're still in your prime right there. So it's like I think back in maybe a little over a decade ago, teams were grabbing that junior out of college, that senior out of college because
Right.
they were ready to play right now. But we're so big now on potential.
Mm-hmm.
It's a potential driven league when it comes to young guys. Sure, the younger the better, or the young not excuse me, not the younger the better. The younger the more potential,
Mm-hmm.
but it definitely doesn't mean you're better. And a team
Right.
like the Miami Heat, especially when you go on late, you get a late, first round pick, and you see a guy like Jaime Jaquez, and you got to be just licking your chops. And a lot of teams, like you said, Lakers passed up on them, and other teams, like you got to get, you got the Lakers especially. You have a veteran team. Why wouldn't you want a
Exactly. Make no
older
sense.
rookie? It makes no
Right in your
sense.
backyard, literally sitting right there for you, and you decide to go with one of the younger players in the draft and Mr. Hood there. But to your point, yes, I agree with a lot of what you said. Obviously, like you said, the younger, the more potential, but potential gets coaches fired. We've seen that a lot. And most lottery picks, historically speaking, don't pan out, right? And we're talking 1 through 14. A lot of those guys historically do not pan out, right? A lot of them, not a lot of them, some of them do. That's just the way the NBA draft is. It's a crapshoot, both the NFL, MLB, all that good stuff. But yes, I believe scouting departments need to start looking more into these older guys who are ready to make an NBA impact now. Now, I'm not saying that I would have drafted him first, second, or third, because I do believe there is a little bit of a transformation body wise from
Hmm.
18 to 22. But to your point, skill wise, and I guess to your point, at some point, human beings in general, but players specifically in basketball, they plateau, right? Like you don't
Hmm.
always continue to get better. So this idea that I'm gonna draft him at 19 and I'm gonna hope that he just keeps getting better every year, it doesn't happen like that all the time. Most of the time, it doesn't happen that way
Right.
because guys just don't love the game. And we know plenty of stories like that. The guys just don't love basketball the way they should. A lot of them treat it like a job. And that's what separates the greats from the goods. And we've seen it historically in the NBA. But uh, to your point, he plays like a vet. The guy's a hooper. To me, he's a 10-year starter. He's going to be a very good player. Will he ever be an all-star? Nowadays, it's so hard to get that ceremonial bid
Right.
right because Sacramento had two all-stars, didn't get named this year. But we know that they're all-stars at the end of the day. Teams game plan for them as all-stars. They have a good record, even though they lost tonight against Denver. Yeah, will he ever get that ceremonial, that place? Who knows? But we know that he's a very good player who's going to impact winning for a very long time. All
Right.
right. Second topic. Let's stay on the Heat, man. Are we sleeping on the Heat in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, because I would have to say yes, because we literally had our first episode, and we talked about the Boston Celtics. We talked about the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think we might have mentioned, um, Philly or somebody. I can't remember who it was.
Right.
But I know one team that didn't even come up in the
Was the
discussion
Heat.
was the Miami Heat.
Huge mistake.
And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna blame it on we just were excited, like
Yep.
we were having a good time. But no, for sure, like when Miami came and beat the Sacramento Kings on Monday,
With
the
seven
Sacramento
dudes.
Kings with 7 guys, and
Yeah.
what, 2, 3 of them don't even really play in the rotation, and they came in and they really won that game. It got ugly at the end, and the Kings, made a run and a push, but all I could think of, I was like, wow, this is no. And then Duncan Robinson was 1 of 11 in that game.
Facts.
Then I was like, this is no Jimmy Butler, no Tyler Hero.
Heat culture.
And like, how much better could they be? And they have proven over the last few years that they are a quote unquote playoff team. Like, it doesn't matter. They made it to the finals, what, as an eighth seed or whatever a couple
Yeah.
years ago. Like,
Last
it doesn't.
year.
That's last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
last
Right. Yeah.
year.
As an eighth seed. And this is just what the Miami Heat do. Like you said, that Heat culture there. They're going to get through the season. The plan is to get through the season healthy. As
Right.
long as they are healthy, the Miami Heat are a dangerous team, and they are a team that's capable of beating the Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics. I'm not saying that
100%.
they will beat them
Right.
or that they're better, but they are capable if they are
100.
firing on all
100%.
cylinders.
100%, Mark. You hit it right on the head, bro. The Miami Heat are still the Miami Heat. They're coached by the best coach in basketball, and Eric Spoelstra. He's
Mm-hmm.
been there. He's done that. Guys play so hard for him. We see it every single year. The Miami Heat have the X factor that nobody wants to see in the playoffs, and he's a top 5 player when it's all said and done in the playoffs every single year, and his name is Jimmy Butler. That guy turns on the switch, and we all know, and obviously I think your brothers did a story once about him obviously not wanting to admit that he doesn't really take the season serious, because once the playoffs hit, he turns into this mega superstar. But we see it every year with this guy. Like, once the playoffs start, he becomes a
Mm-hmm.
top 5 player, and to have a top 5 player, like everybody can't say that. And there's a
Right.
reason why they're always there. Like, they're always competing. They have that guy, and a lot of teams don't. And I tell you what, the Celtics, the Bucks, whoever, the Sixers, they don't want to see the Miami Heat in the playoffs. That is a dangerous team, bro. And they got deeper. They got Scary Rozier, right? They
Mm-hmm.
picked up DeLon Wright, who hadn't played in so long. He played 30 plus minutes against Sacramento. The guy showed up, was a true professional, hit some big time shots. I know they just lost what the hell is his name for the season, who they also picked up. But guys just want to play there. And K Love went back 10 years. He looked great as that stretch 5. I mean, even Jaime Jaque, who wasn't playing very good, he had a get right game against the Kings. It just
Mm-hmm.
happens that way. But yes, the Miami Heat are legit, and I think they are a very dangerous team. And to your point, yeah, I agree. They're very capable of doing it again. Will they? That's a different story.
Right.
But it's gonna be fun to watch. All right, next topic is the criticism of Zion's weight fair.
It's I'm laughing because it's a funny topic, and it's
It's
funny.
fair. It's fair. It's funny. It's
It's a
hilarious,
funny
but it's
topic.
fair. This guy's
It's
making millions of dollars. You got Stephen A. Smith being trolled by the New Orleans Pelicans account, and then he rants for 10 minutes talking about they should be worried about winning games, and I agree with him. Like, they should be worried about winning games. They've won 2 playoff series in like the last 25 years.
mm. See, this is gonna be the part of the show we disagree on. I think
Okay.
it is absolutely unfair.
Okay.
It is it is unfair to be fat shaming this man. This is one of this this is one of the best athletes on the planet.
Right. I
No
agree.
matter how much he weighs. And the only time, this is why I say it's unfair. Now, do I think he needs to lose a few pounds or try to, slim down or whatever? Of course, I think I do as well. Like, I need to cut down on some pounds. I'm
Me
I'm
too.
not, I'm not as big as Zion, but whatever.
That's a
But
problem, though. That's an
it
issue that Zion is bigger than you. I'm just saying.
that is, yeah. I mean, you got a point. You have a point. But maybe there's a term called big bone. What if his
Okay.
bones is just heavy? His
You're
bones
right.
can be heavy. I
You're
don't know.
right.
But what I'm saying is, like, what I didn't like at the beginning of the year when the fat shaming kind of started was when he finally had a bad game. I believe it was against the Lakers. Prior to that, he's playing well. They're winning basketball games. and we're praising Zion because we're saying this is the Zion Williamson that we need to be seeing every night. Then he
Mm-hmm.
has a bad game and he's out of shape. He can't get up and down the court. He looks slow. He looks this. And when he start, he's having a solid year this year. The Pelicans are having a solid year.
Yeah.
But whenever he has a bad game, but at the end of the day, that comes with the territory of being the star of a team. Is when things are going bad, you're going to be the one blamed. So I think it's unfair, but I do understand the concern.
Yeah, to me, it's a huge concern. And in my opinion, he's holding them back. He's holding them back because they have a star in Brandon Ingram who is as good as anybody in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. I know he's not very he's not a guy that you can trust. He's not reliable is the word I was looking for in terms of staying ready and playing. But at the same time, tell me another guy that can do the things he can do on the floor, who is that height, who is that skilled, who can put the ball on the floor, who makes other guys better. BI is the real deal. And I get it. Availability is the best ability. But if I were them, I would try and trade Zion right now before all of his value goes down because injuries happen and it's a real thing. And as we always talk about, you can't turn off the injury switch. This isn't NBA 2K. This is a real concern. And the heavier you are, the way he is, as you said, one of the best athletes on earth, that's a lot of weight to be jumping 40 plus inches off the ground, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that is insane. So it's more probable for the guy to get injured because he's so heavy. And as Stephen A. Smith says, every chef in New Orleans is inviting him to the restaurant. That's not a good. That's not a good look, bro. I mean, come on. That's not a good look. But hey, we love some Zion, bro.
It's the fat shaming, man. I'm jealous of Zion. I wish every chef in New Orleans
Me too.
was inviting me. I wish I had that type of love.
We'll take those calories for you, bro. We'll take them for you.
Definitely.
All right, next topic. Did Steve Kerr deserve the huge extension?
I will say yes. I know a lot of Warriors fans. I wouldn't say a lot, but there are Warriors fans who don't like it, and they're a lot of people are living in the moment of now of what the team is doing now and the struggles that they're having, and Steph is out there being Superman doing it, all not all by himself, but when it comes to that offense, he's the only thing that's happening every single game. He's the only thing that's going. Everybody else is, they have times where they struggle. Steve Kerr, with this team, he has times where he makes questionable decisions. Like people wonder, like when he was, benching Jonathan Kuminga, or
right.
Moses Moody is still on the bench. It's a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, this is a championship coach. He's won it 4 times as a coach, and he's won as a player. Like he deserves. This is like saying LeBron doesn't deserve max money because he's not the same LeBron at 39 at 30.
Or Kobe.
Or Kobe, same thing.
Kobe's last 2 years. It's like saying he didn't deserve that. Of course he did.
Steve Kerr has earned every bit of money he's gotten. Before he came, the organization was not what it is today. They wasn't the $1 billion organization that they are today. Now, and I say $1 billion, it's more than one. I'm just saying billion just to shorten it up.
There is more than one. And as to your point, Steve Kerr, I still think is a real deal. Even last year against the Kings, Mike Brown won Coach of the Year, but was there any doubt that who would win that coaching battle? There was never a doubt, man. And I hate to admit that, but Steve Kerr outcoached him four out of 7 times, right? So, and that's how you win a series. And I do believe that the Kings tired him out, which then they looked exhausted against the Lakers. But you got to give LA credit. But yeah, Steve Kerr still finds ways to get the best out of his guys. It's looking like they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. He's made those switches. He inserted Kuminga, pods in there. I still would like to see Moody, but at the same time, where do you play him if you're playing Wiggins, if you're playing Draymond? Like,
Yep.
there isn't that many minutes to go around. And unfortunately for him, Kuminga kind of plays in that same vicinity, right? Where he's more of that stretch four wing. Then the rookie's pretty good too. So do you sit him out and Clay is now coming off your bench? Like,
Right.
they could have gotten some value for him for sure at the deadline. It would have been nice if they traded him to the Kings, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, Steve Kerr deserved a huge extension. Is it a lot of money? Absolutely. Are these guys overpaid? Absolutely. But it's what the market says you're worth. And that is the money that he's worth to organization. Like Mark said, $1 billion organization, man. Like, that guy generates a lot of excitement for a lot of the fans. Some fans are caught in the moment, but at the same time, you're not getting paid for what they're doing now. You're getting paid for what you've done, and that guy built the dynasty. We saved the best for last. Cap or fact? Is Jordan Poole overrated, Mark?
I'm going to say, when it comes to JP, I'm going to say this is cap. I don't think he's overrated.
Oh, man.
I think Jordan Poole is having a real rookie season.
Oh,
I
wow.
feel like he played with the Warriors. When you're playing with the Golden State Warriors, you're playing with Steph Curry. People say this all the time. Playing with Steph Curry, one of the greatest players to ever touch the basketball, makes the game a lot easier for everybody around him. And I think Jordan Poole was somebody who benefited heavily from being next to Steph Curry. And now that he has, quote unquote, his own team, or he's on his own team, this is the first time where he's able to just make mistakes. That's what you could do as a rookie. You can make mistakes. He has the right. He's able to shoot the ball 20 times a game if he wanted to. He's able to make his own decisions whenever he would like. But now he's seeing, and we're seeing, that these aren't winning decisions,
Right.
Which rookies do. That's not a problem. I think he's right where he should, even though there's a ton of footage out there of bloopers left and right of him just, having a ridiculous year. But I'm sure if we look at a lot of these all-star players we've seen in the all-star game, if we look at their rookie year and if their rookie year cared, because a lot of times as a rookie, you don't care about how bad. But I bet if we look at De'Aaron Fox, I bet if we look at Steph, if we look at, a lot of these guys, Tatum, everybody, they're going to have a lot of crazy moments. And I think that's what Jordan Poole's going through. So I don't think he's overrated, but he's probably right where he's always been. We just couldn't tell because of the greatness of Steph Curry. Steph Curry's that good.
It's hard to argue with him on that one, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to argue because obviously he is overrated, but to his point, a lot of his weaknesses were covered up by playing for the Warriors, by playing next to Steph Curry. So I agree with that. So it's like I'm trying to battle. Do I say cap on Mark or do I say facts on Jordan Poole? So it's one of those things where I'm like, damn, he got me good. And he just put it to where I'm like, I can't. It's like he put me against the wall, man. I can't say much to that. Yes, Jordan Poole, body language is awful.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
If you have kids playing AAU basketball or high school basketball, please don't let him watch him right now until he gets to his second, third year. According to Mark Haynes, man, do not let them watch this man right now because he is nothing but bad habits in 24-hour fitness basketball. But that's going to do it, y'all. Thank you guys so much. We hope you enjoyed Cap or Fact. We hope you enjoyed the entire show, and we hope that Jeremiah gets better so that next week we can be all together in studio to record episode 3 of 3 in the Paint podcast. On behalf of the entire 3 in the Paint family, I thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.